queen excluder, full super, putting another super on top of it. Now you can bottom super. Leave a comment below if you know what this is for, this piece of black duct tape. In one video a long time ago, I said what this is for. Leave a comment, see if you know what the answer is. Oh, today we're going to open up this hive over here. This hive has been showing me that it has some spotty brood patterns that I don't like. So what I want to do today is take a look at it. If it's still spotty after we've had a pretty good nectar flow for about a week now, I'm a little concerned. But if it's starting to straighten up, we'll keep the queen. If it's spotty, we're going to have to kill that queen and put a new queen in there. I got plenty of queens to drop in there. That's why I need to make a decision. We just need to go in there and take a look. This hive I started, 2 or 3 years ago from a split that I made. And that's why it's facing the wall, because I actually wanted it to take an orientation flight, and I figured if I could make it face the wall and force them to have something in front of their opening, it might help keep all the foragers there, and I think it worked pretty good. So we're going to just open this hive up and try to inspect to see what the brood pattern looks like. The top super is full of nectar, or starting to be full of nectar, and it's above a queen excluder, so we don't have the queen up there. It did have some beetles last time in it. But I sucked a lot of them up. I don't see many beetles in there now. Alright. So we're going to speed things up and just take the super off. When I take a super off like this, I like to leave the queen excluder behind. I can't always do that because it usually sticks to one of the boxes, and sometimes it sticks to the medium super above it. But if I can leave the queen excluder down below, I prefer that. But as you can see, it gets pretty sticky to the top box. I'll tell you why I like to do that in just a second. Oh gosh, they have put some nectar in there. That's a backbreaker. Wow. Okay, so there's the queen excluder. And the reason I like to leave it here when I remove the super, just in case the queen happens to be, walking on the bottom of it, then I would have carried her over there. It's just a little precaution that I like to do. Now I can kind of smoke her off of there if she's up there. It would be unlikely, but just a precaution. A couple of beetles over here. They were probably in a little jail. Propolis gel that the bees make. And we're working in the shade today. Feels pretty good. Let's start over here. Get this frame out of the way near the wall. I always like to start with this frame for those of you that are brand new beekeepers and you're wondering how to inspect. The queen is never likely to be on this frame, so I don't worry about rolling her. Now this is a medium. Look at that. This hive went through the winter with a deep and a medium. I don't know if I had that other super on there or not. So we'll just look for brood. Alright. Got some beetles walking around in here. Some pollen that's jabbed around on this frame as well. Yep, here's a beetle. I'd like to put some beetle traps in these hives eventually when I get a little bit of time. I just have one day where I dedicate to go around and put beetle traps. Don't like to do it on the same day that I'm inspecting. It's just too much going on at that time to try to fill oil and all. Alright, here's some brood, and look at that. It is improving. It would be hard to kill that queen. I mean, there's some spots in there, but there's some solid areas too. So let's just... Oh yeah, she's a keeper. So right now, as you can tell, this hive, we won't inspect anymore on this hive. We went in there with the intention of only looking to see the condition of the brood pattern. And since it's beautiful, we're going to leave it. And this answers a question that a lot of people may be wondering. when you go in your hive early in the spring and start looking at it, you can see some spotty brood pattern. And this is just going to be recorded in my memory bank that in the future, I'm not going to get concerned about seeing a solid brood pattern until they've had a couple of weeks of good nectar flow. Isn't that great? Don't you love that, people? Don't you love being a student of beekeeping? You can learn things like that. Yeah, when I first inspected this a couple of weeks ago, it was pretty shotgun brood pattern. I'm like, oh, time to requeen this hive. But I still have a lot of queens that I was hoping to use one in here, but it's hard for me to replace a good laying queen. Now it's time for the core muscle exercises. I'm picking up a big, heavy, medium super stuck to the top cover. Put it right back on top. And this hive is ready for another super, another medium super. Let's put one on here. I'm going to grab one in here. Now I want to show you something gross. Okay, so this is going to be something gross. You have to be prepared. Look at this. Now, leave a comment if you think you know what this is. These little markings right here on the frames, you see that? These little cocoons, you know what that is? I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to leave a comment to tell me what this is. But I will tell you, if you see it, it is benign. In other words, you don't want to burn your boxes, anything crazy like that. So we're going to do a little experiment to see what the bees will do. Will they be able to clean it up? So I'll pull a frame out and show you a frame. It's odd that you see what we see because there's no comb on there. Yeah. So we're going to just give this to the bees and we're going to hopefully see them clean it up. Now I could take time to clean it up myself. That would help a little bit. But I just want to do it in my own little experiment. Queen excluder, full super, putting another super on top of it. Now you can bottom super, which means you take this super, kind of reverse these two, put the empty one down there. And since we have a queen excluder, I think I'm going to do that now that I have thought about it. So let's do all this over again. Let's take the smoker though, smoke the bees, get that leaf out of there. And let's see if we can get that queen excluder to stay behind again. I like that little trick of leaving the queen excluder behind. Okay, that'll work. I'm going to set it over here just for a second. I'm going to take this one that needs some help, some tender loving care on the bees part. And we're going to put it right above the queen excluder. And let's put all the frames kind of close together, take out the spacing, because they'll make, I feel like that's only 9 frames. Yep, that's only 9. I need 10. I don't know what we'll do. Let's put 10. Let's make a space toward the middle. We'll put another one right there. Alright, so I'm going to put this one, that's the clean one, put it in the middle, just because I need one more. Now we're going to tighten it all up. Make all the frames tight in the middle. Ready to go now. Got a queen excluder on. Alright. Perfect. So now, I just showed you top supering and bottom supering. So in this case, this is called bottom supering. We're putting the new super on the bottom of an existing super. This inspection, how's the brood condition? In and out, put a super on, it's done. So don't try to spend too much time inspecting a whole bunch of things. Like I would never recommend you go through there and try to deal with your beetles and try to deal with looking for eggs, looking for brood, doing a mite test, all in one inspection. You're going to have it open so long that you're going to be irritated and the bees are going to be irritated. If you're new to beekeeping and you find this fascinating, I made a video several years ago about how to start beekeeping. It's been around for a few years, but how to start is still the same. And check out the video right here, how to get started in beekeeping. I'll see you guys over there.